what you need for a mini lava lamp. You'll need this graduated cylinder to measure out water. You'll need a beaker full of oil for that, and you need food coloring, and a beaker and salt. You measure out 300 milliliters in the graduated cylinder. You want to put 3 of these up to here, and you measure from the meniscus. You take 20 milliliters of vegetable oil and pour it into the water. It's sitting on top of the water because it isn't viscous and it's less dense. So you take a couple drops of food coloring into the oil, and you see how it still stays into the oil. You take some salt and you pour it into the mixture, and you notice how it seems to be doing something. The salt is at the bottom because it is more dense than everything else, and since the salt has dissolved into the water, the oil comes back to the top. Make a lava lamp at home because lava lamps are cool.
For a sodium polyacrylate experiment, you'll need a graduated cylinder, sodium polyacrylate, and you'll need 1 teaspoon of it, 2 cups, and salt. First, take the sodium polyacrylate, and it should be 1 teaspoon, and dump it into a cup. Next, measure out 100 milliliters of water into a graduated cylinder. Make sure to get down and look eye level, and make sure you measure from the meniscus. Next, pour the 100 milliliters into the cup that has the sodium polyacrylate in it. If you look, it becomes a solid in the cup. As you can see, the sodium polyacrylate and the water is now a solid. A solid has a definite shape and a definite volume. The solid takes the shape of an object that it's in, such as the polyacrylate and the water taking the shape of the cup. Sodium polyacrylate and the water are amorphous because, as you can see, I can push on the sodium polyacrylate and the water and I can mold it how I want, which means the particles are very disorganized. However, such as this table, it is very crystalline because I cannot physically mold it by myself because the crystalline structure is very organized. An example of an amorphous would be the sad ball, which would mean that if I drop the sad ball, it would not bounce back up because there would be different amounts of particles touching the ground. However, the happy ball would be a crystalline because there is a certain amount of particles touching the ground. The sodium polyacrylate in the water caused a physical change because if I were to add salt to this, it would eventually separate back out.
You will need 1 tablespoon of sugar, 4 tablespoons of ice cream salt, 1/2 tablespoon of vanilla, and 1 cup of milk, and 1 gallon Ziploc bag, 1 quart Ziploc bag, and gloves.
You need to measure 1 cup of milk and put it into a quart bag.
The direction of heat flow is from hot to cold because it goes from hot.
Measure 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla and put it in with the milk.
And so you go from solid, liquid, gas, to plasma. It is phase changing each time from because
take 1 tablespoon of sugar and put it in with milk
so
and
a
vanilla.
plasma to get back to a gas.
To get the air out of all the bag and make sure to close it all the way.
That's fall.
You mix up all the ingredients so then all the even and mix the ice cream taste better.
You need 4 cups of ice and put it into the gallon Ziploc bag.
You know what I'm saying?
Liquid, different volume. It's not a different liquid. They can move.
I'm not into you know what headcanons are?
And there's gas, which they
Put the milk inside with the ice.
Then you put the ice cream salt in with the ice and you need to make sure to do it fast because it slows down the freezing point and it will help the ice cream freeze faster. And make sure to get all of the air out of the bag. You shake it and mix it all together until you think that the ice cream is to a solid. I know it may look like the bag is leaking, but it's actually condensation because the air on the outside is warmer than it is on like the ice in the inside of the bag, and so that's what's causing it to make it look, or that's what's causing it to have the ice melt. And now you take your ice cream out of the bag, and now the ice cream is a solid state of matter.